Okay, I done a topic like this last year called sexuality in hip hop, or selling sexuality in hip hop. And I talk about in that video the negatives of publicly selling yourself out there, brainwashing the youth, making kids from the ages of 5, 10, 13 till the ages of 15, putting it into their minds of them being gay, them either liking guys or girls liking girls. And I break down several entertainers who do that shit and the negative aspect of it, because we got our kids out here today coming out saying things that they don't understand, things that they haven't seen, things that are being shared through social media. And again, we're talking about the negative aspects, but as you can see in this one, gay hip hop. And to break down the sides of it to where, one, there's a good way of coming out and being yourself, but not selling it like Young Thug is doing, and a couple of undercover flamers like Lil Wayne. Then you have NBA Youngboy, who is a faggot, who is a flamer. Videos and pictures of him out here kissing dudes. Then you have those that are afraid to live their truth, but choose to come out during a parade, but before that you choose to fight, bicker, and argue, when a lot of people have came out about you being their boyfriend or their butt buddy, and that part will have to go towards Young Buck. So for selling sexuality and hip hop in a negative manner, I will be linking that video down in the description below this one. For this video, let's go with the side of being ashamed, the side of you wanting to fight everybody because you got caught. Now, along with this discussion, I'm going to link down the NBA Youngboy video I broke down about him liking guys, why he chooses to fight women a lot, because he doesn't like the females. He chooses to be around guys. So you have that right there already on your own. Now, if you are somebody that doesn't carry themselves like that, somebody doesn't like guys, but you do on the low, and you have the audacity of wanting to fight everybody because you got caught and somebody came out, and it's not just one person, you got multiple people that came out. Okay, yeah, it's going to happen, because there is something known as the gay mafia in hip hop. Okay, Buck got caught. Yes, he got caught with the tranny. I live in Columbia. I'm 55 miles away from Nashville. Tennessee is the second gayest capital of the South. You're gonna have guys that's gonna like guys. You're gonna have girls that's gonna like girls. I also done a video explaining stuff like that down here in the South, how things are with that, called keeping it in the family or keeping it in the hood. I'm going to try to find that video, and I'm going to link that also down in the description below. Buck does have a couple of people who he did fuck who are guys who stay here in Colombia. Those that I know of, those that have even talked about it. One of them is a tranny as well. You have those up in Nashville who have also made statements. A lot of these people who found these stories reached out to each other and talked about their experiences. Buck did them wrong, but Buck offered them, like, to us, the normal people, you know, being offered $3,000, $5,000 is a lot of money to normal people that are barely making by. Now, Buck offered that. These people took it, except for two of them, because they're not finna be bought like that. And I guess he's done some crooked things because of that. Now, one of them promoted themselves, talked about certain situations with that on the Star Report last year. $50 was poking fun of him. I get that. You know, $50 was brought up different. $50's from New York. You gotta know how New Yorkers do. Me, I'm a New Yorker at heart, even though I live down in the South. So I understand 50's modem. I understand his mindset and how he does. So, you know, it took a parade for Buck to finally come out. Now, does your reputation deceive you now from that? Yes, it does, because you can't be, quote unquote, being a thug, gangsters, trying to slang and burst guns if you're like that. There's a street code to that. So then that lets everyone know that you were not really doing that. You know, and I talked about that before down in the South, how we are. You know, we are fake, we pump fake, we dick ride, we fake support. Only when it's accurate, when it comes to free events, money. We only support outsiders, we don't support our own selves. So, you know, there's that. You take Buck now, who's living his truth. He also supported Little X Nas or something like that. Now, yes, Buck did mess up his career again by doing other stuff that has nothing to do with this. You know, he bit the hand that feed him, and, you know, he is stuck in one position. You have Little Nas X, who did come out, but at least he's not ashamed, he's not hiding his truth. You know, he ain't promoting it in a negative manner. Now, going along with this, how does that look like to their reputations? Does that hurt them? We're supposed to live in a world of acceptance today, but the truth is, there will never be any acceptance for anything, regardless if you're gay, bi, straight, black, or white. You know, we don't live in a world of acceptance. The record labels still follow by the old mindset that, okay, look, if you like guys, if you're a guy that likes guys, if you're a girl that likes girls, then that cannot come out because it's going to ruin your career. It's going to ruin your image, the money. And in most cases, yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's definitely true. You know, you have that out here. That's what happens. I remember you had Fat Joe speaking about stuff like that. So, the impact that this has, the good side of it, those that may actually feel that way, those that know, like, yeah, I actually like the opposite sex or the same sex, who are not out there promoting it so fucking heavily and selling it, then they're going to see people like Lil Nas X, a better example, like, oh, okay, I seen him. Now it's time for this person to come out and them to be comfortable with it, but you could never tell that they were. Other than the 2 or 3 negatives like Buck, like NBA Youngboy, and like Young Thug and Lil Wayne. But does Lil Wayne have an excuse? I'll be honest, he does actually get a pass, because if you really look into it, Birdman raped Lil Wayne as a little boy. You gotta understand how Louisiana is, especially, you know, I lived down in the South my entire life, so you know how things are, and I talked about this before, right? Yeah, Birdman may have taken Lil Wayne as a very young boy, but Birdman was raping Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne didn't know what it was. The only reason why he didn't know what it was and why he thought it was okay is because, honestly to God, when you take somebody at a young age like that and trying to pimp them, I should say, it don't matter if it's a female or male with this part that I'm explaining. You know, you got older guys that do that now. It's because they ain't got enough game to do that to an adult. So they're going to do it to a child, like Wayne, like Birdman did to Wayne. But he blindsided and brainwashed Wayne through money and jewelry and clothes. And then along the way, cars and drugs were added to that. You take a look at the MTV's Crib episode. Wayne was 17 years old. He wasn't 18 yet. So he would be still considered a minor. He was living with Birdman. You take them where they were kissing 3 times. You go into the aspect of now, which breaks down into this category a bit that I spoke about before. That black men here in the South, we intend to down shame real victims of rape to the point where we get so comfortable with it that we don't care what happens to our children. We don't care what happens to our daughters. And I have seen that, and I have heard several men say they wouldn't care what happens. They're comfortable with it. And that's exactly how we are as black men down here in the South. You have mothers that will throw their own child underneath the bus because they're getting beaten and raped by their boyfriend while the boyfriend's molesting the child. You have that down here. You have older men with younger boys down here in the South. You have older men with way younger girls down here in the South. And it's a natural thing to where everyone is okay with it, the truth, the reality, no, it's really not okay. Now, are older guys attracted to younger females? Yeah. That's without a doubt. Just like younger males, or just like younger females attracted to older guys. You know? You take those things, what I'm saying, that drills in a message to those that are young who don't even know who they are yet. So you have to be careful of what you sell out here in the world of hip-hop. Not too else more I can say, but other videos that I've done before about this that break down stuff like this, and I'm gonna try to remember to link them. I'm gonna try to, but if I don't, just know that those videos are on this channel. One of them is going to be called Selling Sexuality in Hip Hop. Keep it in the family, right? The Young Buck video I did, what's really going on with Buck. And then I'm gonna find that Fat Joe video that he did with DJ Vlad about the gay mafia. But before I go, you know, again, there was a certain day and age, if you were an entertainer and you were gay, you couldn't come out like that because it would have definitely ruined your career. You know, you have Liberace, be honest to God, he was raping young boys behind closed doors, man. You have Eve that came out early 2000s with a video of her what happened in a strip club. That messed up her whole career. She couldn't come back from that. So yeah, you really have to be careful, you know. Gay hip-hop. And again, we don't live in a world of acceptance like people think we do. We don't. We're just blindsided by that fact, by the truth of reality, that a good majority of these people's career pretty much done for. Wayne's career, he killed that off his own self. Who else? You have Young Thug. He can't bounce back off his shit, to be honest. He can't have a fucking song to save his life or a project. You have Birdman that really messed up his career, to be honest, because there was a lot of people that did come out saying what he's done to them, and these were young boys, teenagers, for Christ's sakes, not even 18, 20 years old yet. And all of a sudden they disappeared. What do you think he did to them? I'll tell you what he did. It's obvious. He got him killed. You have people like NBA Youngboy. He fucked up his own career. He fights women because he doesn't like females. He chooses to be around guys. You got to pay attention to that. You have people like Young Buck, who's ashamed, even though it took a fucking parade for him to come out. But he been messed up his career because he believes in biting the hands that feed him. And now you have Lil Nas X. I believe his career is now tarnished now. You know, when I was coming up in high school, the guys that play sports, a good majority of them are gay. Like, I'm being dead serious. I'm not trying to be funny, but there were some things that I have seen. And again, I think I talked about that before in a video that I'm going to link down, but one football player, he was a dirty motherfucker though. He decided to have one of his football teammates brush up against the locker and shoved his hands down his pants and kissing him in the hallway while he was fucking another one in the locker room once. And then you had two twin brothers who were gay with each other, kissing hands, holding and shit like that. Yeah, you had that down here in the South. And again, I break down those and better in that video, but you really have to be careful with how you go about things like this now. Because when you're selling sexuality and hip hop, it can go good or bad.